Greetings folks and welcome to the channel. Will H still in the race. The channel focused on getting out there and staying active as we get older. Today we're going to talk about week 4 of my plan to get faster at Parkrun. A week that didn't go to plan. I'm out with 2 dogs this morning. Have a look. This little ginger one who I'm looking after and my crazy Labrador. This time it wasn't work that got away. I had man flu. All you blokes out there will know what I'm on about. I know you ladies think we're being wimps, but yes, I had man flu. I felt absolutely terrible when I got up on Monday. I know I touched on it in the last video that I wasn't feeling 100% at the end of the week. Right, by Monday I felt like a bus had hit us. During the week, you know, because it impacted my week, I learned a few things. Stick around until later and find out what they were. Maybe they will help you as well. This is what the week's plan supposed to have looked like. You know, 6 sessions planned in. I only hit 4. Only 3 of them runs, and all at a reduced intensity. That's what I had to change. I had to change something significant. I had to reshuffle my sessions and cut back rather than just pushing through. I think pushing through would have made us feel worse than I was, and I would have ended up the week even worse. So Monday, I just took off. Took it as an extra rest day. Did nothing. Lay around, felt sorry for myself. So I feel sorry for myself because sometimes being poorly, not being able to exercise when you're used to it, it can help, it can impact your mental health occasionally. So for me, I just felt grumpy on the sofa. Tuesday, I did do my physio exercises on the morning. You know, it's easy. I sit on the floor for a lot of them. Lean against the wall, you know. So I got my physio exercise on the way, just doing a bit of prehab. Would hate to end up injured and ill. And then I did, in the evening, go do my treadmill session. I was supposed to do 15 lots of 90 seconds at 4:28. Instead, I only did 10 lots of 19 seconds at a slightly slower 4:32 pace. So I cut back, and even that took it out of us. You know, maybe I shouldn't have done that hard session. Wednesday, my rest session, I didn't try and catch back up. I took the rest. You know, I needed to recover from this. So I took the rest, but I did try and do a little bit of functional strength later in the day, and that didn't really work out. I got about 15-20 minutes into it and I just binned it off. I just didn't have any strength in us at all. I'll interrupt this video here just to ask you to do us a favour. If you don't go down below and subscribe if you're not, and like the video, it'll help my channel grow. I'm a very small channel, and that would also help others see my content. So like and subscribe if you don't mind. With that, back to the vlog. Wednesday, I got up, I did a little bit of mobility, again a relaxing session just to get us moving, and I did go out on the evening and try my sub-threshold sessions. Thursday, sub-threshold sessions. I did 2 by 10 minutes, and that left us a bit wide, even though it wasn't quite as quick as I have been going in these sub-threshold sessions. So what I did is, I was supposed to have a reasonable run after the intervals. I just cut that down to a 1k warm down. Do you say warm down or cool down? Tell us below. Friday, my optional rest or cross-train day. Again, I took the option to rest. This is a week I needed the rest. So I took that rest option. No cardio apart from walking the dogs. We got this, my cousin's dog dropped off on Friday. So I ended up doing 9 or 10 kilometers of walking, just at a really easy pace. And that fresh air probably did as good, to tell the truth. And I also, at the end of the day, I got in another 20 minutes mobility. You know, I really want to improve my mobility and flexibility as an older athlete. Saturday, supposed to be a long run. I was looking at about 16k in my plan, or 10 miles for those that you work on old money. But again, I just went out and I thought I'd go out and see what I felt. They ended up being 13k, and towards the end I was walking, and it was slightly slower than last week. So yeah, that ended up being a bit cut back. Sunday was a hike. I'd already pre-arranged to go up to the Lake District and do a mountain hike with the lads, and I was going to be driver, so I didn't want to let people down. So we headed up to Scarfield Pike because 3 of us had done it already this year, but 2 of the lads hadn't. So we thought we'd go up and give them a chance to hike England's highest mountain. The weather was horrendous. I'll put a bit of video up and you can see what it was like, what I mean. But it was horrendous going up there. The rain was sideways, it was cold, it was windy, it was, claggy, it was horrible. And I felt very weak on the climb. I'm never weak on a mountain climb. But this week, I was at the back of the line going up. But it was about 3 hours 40 walk. A day in the mountains is a day in the mountains. It's still enjoyable, even if you feel crap. So summary-wise, I got 4 sort of strength mobility sessions in, edging more towards mobility than strength, and total about 80 minutes. And the cardio, what it looked like, was Monday, rest, then treadmill intervals, cut back a bit, then rest, then a cut back, sub-threshold session, then an easy walking day, no real cardio, just a bit of walking, then a longish run, and then a mountain hike. It gives me 27 kilometers of running, which was a lot less than planned, about 3 hours. Well, it's poor show really, but what it is, it is. I did about 34 kilometers of walking, 9 hours, but that was mainly due to the hike on Sunday. So I had a combined run walk of about 61 kilometers or 12 hours, and a combined total time of exercise of about 13.5 hours. So not bad considering, but there wasn't as much intensity in there. There wasn't as much purpose in the sessions. I said early on that I learned a few sessions. And one of them things is cutback weeks matter. I'm an older athlete, as I've said, I'm not far off 60 now, and recovery becomes more and more important, I think, as you get older. As an older athlete, I should be scheduling in cutback weeks. This is week 4, it should be scheduled a cutback week. But is 4 weeks too long for me as I'm getting older? Should I be scheduling cutback weeks every 3 weeks? You tell me, comment down below and tell me what you think. Should an older athlete be cutting back more frequently, so cutting back on a 3-week cycle rather than a 4-week cycle? Go on, comment down below. And you've got to remember as well, what I learned is, my watch still shows progress across the week. Even though I skipped some sessions, I cut back. One skipped session doesn't ruin a plan. Sometimes you have to take that rest and skip a session to help consolidate the training you have done. As I say, I'm getting older, and cumulative fatigue seems to have a bigger impact on us now. I can't stack ever increasing intense weeks on top of each other and expect my body to hold up without taking the appropriate rest. And missing the odd session when you're ill is not being lazy. It's being smart. There's a difference between lazy and smart. Smart people take rest when they need to. Lazy people just drop sessions here and there, in my opinion. By the end of the week, I was starting to have a little bit extra energy, but I still didn't feel 100%. I was feeling a little bit stronger. I might be able to hit my sessions in week 5, but I still wasn't 100%, so I'll keep an eye on it. And I'm here modify the plan slightly in week 5. But what I've got to say is, don't over worry if you've got a bit of illness and you've got to drop a few sessions. It is not the end of the world, and quite often it's necessary. And fitness takes a long time to build, and it takes a long time to lose, and sometimes taking that rest just helps consolidate those gains that you've made. So I'm going to modify my plan, and I'm going to put a cutback week in. I'm not sure if I'll put that in every 3 or 4 weeks. As I've discussed, I'm going to have a think about that. For runners, older runners, over 50, over 60, whatever, yeah, I think it's a sensible thing to do. Because training results don't just come from the training. They come from training plus rest equals results. And both are equally as vital. That was week 4. Not what I wanted, not what I expected, but what I got. You can't look backwards on these things all the time. Look forwards and look to improve. And remember, age shouldn't stop you. You too can be still in the race. Later, folks.